Hey, we're talking about point slope form today. And point slope form is another way to write the equation of a line using the slope and 1 point. Okay, so we only need 1 point and we need that slope still. You'll remember m is always our slope. And then our point should be written in the form x comma y. And so this would be our x coordinate. And this is our y coordinate. Okay, and this, whatever point they give us, okay? And our form then is y minus y1, the point that we are going to plug in, equals m, slope, times the quantity x minus x1. And this x and this y are our variables, okay? They should be left as x and y. You're not plugging things in for those two, okay? There is one thing you're going to want to watch out for, and that is, ooh, come here. When you see a plus sign instead of the minus, in either place of the formula, that represents a negative coordinate. Because a negative times a negative equals a positive. And that is supposed to fit in that cute little circle up there. Yeah. Okay, so from here we can graph. So let's look at those steps for graphing. And we're going to start at 1, and we're going to start by placing the point that they give us, which is x1, y1. Okay? So in this equation, they give us y plus 2 equals 1/2 x minus 4. We're going to take out the point first. The x coordinate is 4. The y coordinate is negative 2. This is where you see that plus 2, and we were just talking about being careful and watching out. When I see a plus, that represents a negative coordinate. So that's a negative 2. So I'm going to start with that point, which is 4 on the x, down 2 on the y. So that's right here. From that point, we're going to count the slope to find the next point. Again, be careful about positive. That's an and sign. And negative, okay? Our slope is 1/2. See? 1/2. So that means I go up 1 over 2, which would be like over here. Likewise, I can go down 1, left 2. That is still a positive direction. Okay, positive slopes lean this way. And then I would go ahead and connect all my points. Beautiful. And that is the third step, is to connect. Sorry, I didn't write it in first. Okay. So we're going to practice with point slope form. Okay. So we're going to find the slope, then write 3 different equations in point slope form by choosing the different points at each line. So let's go ahead and find our slope. And we have a formula for slope, or m. So go ahead and tell me what that is again. Good, it should have been y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And I can pick any of these 2 points to plug in. I'm going to do these first 2. So y2 is negative 2 minus 3 over 0 minus negative 1. Okay, be careful with those negatives. So I get negative 5 over 1, which is just negative 5. So m is negative 5. Now it says I can write equations for the line using those slopes. So I could do y minus 3, because that's my first y value, 3, equals negative 5 times the quantity x plus 1. Okay, so go ahead and give me 3 more using these 3 points. So the first one should be with this point, the second one with this point, and the third one with this point. Good, so your first equation should be y plus 2 equals negative 5 times x, because minus 0 plus 0, whatever. And then the second one should have been y plus 7 equals negative 5 times x minus 1. And your third one was y plus 12 equals negative 5 times x minus 2. Okay, so those were the 3 you came up with. Okay, let's go ahead and write an equation for this. So I'm going to look at my points here, and I'll pick one or the other. It really doesn't matter. Let's pick this one. And the coordinate of this point is 1, negative 3. Okay? So, and if I count my slope, I go up 2 over 3, but left 3, so it's a negative. So my slope, m, is negative 2/3. So, if I wanted to write this as a point slope form, I would say y plus 3, because that was a negative, equals negative 2/3 times the quantity x minus 1. If I had picked this point instead, would my equation really be any different? It'd be a little different just because of the point I plug in. This point is negative 2, negative 1, so I could have y plus 1 equals negative 2/3, the slope doesn't change, x plus 2, okay? And those are really the same 2 things, okay? Go ahead, plot this, figure out if these 2 points, how would you write this equation in point slope form? Okay. So for your slope, when you did the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, you should have done 6 minus 5 over negative 11 minus 4, which would have given you a slope of negative 1/15. And then you plug in either point. So I could have y minus, stop it. I could have y minus 5 equals negative 1/15 x minus 4. Or I could have had y minus 6 equals negative, and that's in parentheses, sorry, 1/15 x plus 11. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one you picked, one of those will work. Okay, and we're going to leave this third example alone for right now. So a big part of this is always graphing. And if I want to graph the equations, I need to know at least one of the points. So this point, or this equation, I know that this x should be a negative value because it's a plus sign. So I have -3, and that is a 1. And I can start there. I start at -3 up 1. So here, and I have a slope of -2, so I would go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, and I can connect my line through that. Okay? Notice this x doesn't have anything else in the parentheses with it. So what is the x value of my point? Good, it should be 0. My y value is obviously a -4. So I start at 0, -4, which should be my y-intercept as well. And then my slope is 3/4. So I go up 3 over 4. And I would keep doing that if I had room and draw my line through them. Tell me what, ooh, this one has a 2 on the outside, which means I could divide that over here so that I would have a slope of 2, and then I don't have to really worry about it on this side. Ugh, ugly. But go ahead and tell me what point I could start at, what my x1, y1 would be. Good, we should have picked 2, 3. So I start at 2, up 3, and we said when we divided by that 2 on both sides that my slope was 2, so I can go up 2 over 1, or down 2, left 1, like so. And I would draw my line through all of that chunk. Okay? Because I know what questions come up on quizzes and tests, this is one of the 3 forms we know. So we know slope-intercept form. That's the one we work with most commonly. And that's y equals mx plus b. This is point-slope form, which we said was y minus, well, you go ahead and give me the equation. Good, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And then our standard form is ax plus by equals c, okay? And I want to be able to move through these different things and transform from one kind to the other, okay? So let's go ahead and practice going from point slope form to standard. Okay, so maybe I start out with y minus 10 equals 2 times x minus 8. Okay, the first thing I want to do is use one of my favorite properties, and that is the good distributive property. So I'm going to distribute that 2. Y minus 10 equals 2x minus 16. Then you'll notice standard form, which was the ax plus by equals c. X and y are on the same side, and all my constants should be on the other side. So I'm going to subtract this 2x over, so that I get negative 2x plus y minus 10 equals negative 16. And again, I said all my constants were on one side, so I add that 10 over. So I have negative 2x plus y equals negative 6. And I'm done. Go ahead and try this last example on your own. Y minus 1 equals 7 times x plus 5. And we're taking this from point slope into into standard form. Following my work, and if you need to check it, please do, we should have gotten negative 7x plus y equals 36. Thanks for watching.